Hello, dear friends! Welcome to our Royal Sparkle Time segment, where we dive into the world of royal events together, revisit the month's most dazzling jewelry, explore their history, and of course, share our impressions. We'll talk about a grand wedding in Greece, where the bride upheld a family tradition by wearing a royal tiara, discuss the collection of brooches Queen Camilla showcased this month, and recall the splendid gala dinner in Denmark, where Queen Mary and Queen Margrethe shone brightly. Naturally, we won't overlook the joint visit by the Prince and Princess of Wales to Wales or the joyful news from Sweden, the birth of a new princess in Stockholm. We'll also take a look at the brooches worn in honor of the Japanese Emperor's birthday celebration and much more. It's going to be exciting, so subscribe to the channel to stay updated with new releases, and let's get started. We begin our review with perhaps the most dazzling event of February, the wedding of Prince Nikolaos of Greece and Chrysi Vardinogianni. Royal weddings always draw attention, but this ceremony was particularly remarkable, both for the distinguished guest list and the chosen jewelry. On February 7th in Athens, at St. Nikolaos Ragavas Church, Prince Nikolaos of Greece and Denmark married Chrysi Vardinogianni, a member of one of Greece's most influential families. For the ceremony, the bride chose an exquisite gown by Greek designer Christos Kostarellos, completing her look with a historic royal heirloom, Queen Anne-Marie's Antique Corsage Tiara. Chrysi Vardinogianni's bridal ensemble became a continuation of a long-standing family tradition, as this tiara is one of the most significant jewels in the Greek royal collection. It is not just a beautiful accessory, but a piece of history, linking multiple generations of European royal women. The origins of this jewel date back to Prussia during the reign of Frederick the Great, when a diamond and pearl corsage ornament was created. It later came into the possession of Princess Louise of Prussia, Grand Duchess of Baden. Upon her passing in 1923, the corsage was inherited by her daughter, Queen Victoria of Sweden, the wife of King Gustav V. Queen Victoria owned a suite of pearl and diamond jewels, including earrings, a brooch, and a large corsage ornament, which was eventually transformed into a tiara. After Victoria's death, the set was passed down to her granddaughter, Queen Ingrid of Denmark, one of the most elegant European queens. Ingrid was known for preserving royal heirlooms while also modernizing them for contemporary wear. It was she who decided to convert the substantial corsage piece into a refined floral motif tiara, adding removable pearl toppers for versatility. In 1964, upon Princess Anne-Marie's 18th birthday, Ingrid gifted her this exquisite diamond and pearl diadem, marking the beginning of its new legacy. Queen Anne-Marie wore the tiara in the early years of her marriage to King Constantine II, but after the abolition of the Greek monarchy and the royal family's exile, it was seen in public less frequently. Over time, the jewel transformed into a special family heirloom, becoming the wedding tiara of Anne-Marie's daughters-in-law. The first to wear it as a bridal diadem was Marie Chantal, wife of Crown Prince Pavlos, at their 1995 wedding. Her Valentino gown and traditional veil complemented the soft, delicate glow of the diamonds and pearls. In 2010, the second royal bride to receive this honor was Tatiana Blatnik, who married Prince Nikolaos on the island of Spetses. Her ethereal Angel Sanchez gown offered a completely different bridal look, yet the tiara remained a constant feature. 11 years later, in 2021, the tradition continued when Nina Flor, wife of Prince Philippos, also chose this tiara for her wedding. Held in Athens, this royal celebration carried a special significance as Greece, where the monarchy was abolished in 1973, once again hosted a grand royal wedding. Now, it was Chrysi Vardinogianni's turn. By wearing this tiara, she not only became part of the royal family, but also upheld a tradition that has linked Greek royal brides for nearly 30 years. Perhaps in the future, we will see this tiara at the weddings of the next generation. What do you think of the idea of wearing a family jewel that has passed through the hands of so many royal women and carries their stories? And what are your thoughts on the bride's overall look? The wedding ceremony was attended by numerous European royals, including Queen Sofia, Princess Irene, Infanta Cristina, Queen Anne-Marie, Crown Prince Pavlos and Princess Marie Chantal, Princess Alexia and Carlos Morales Quintana, Princess Theodora and Matthew Kumar, Princess Benedicta, Princess Alexandra, Prince Gustav, and Princess Karina. Naturally, the attire of the royal ladies also drew attention. Queen Anne-Marie opted for an elegant Max Mara coat, while Crown Princess Marie Chantal stunned in a dress by Emilia Wickstead. Princess Benedicta chose Wickman couture, Princess Alexandra dazzled in a fuchsia lace gown by Costarellos, and Princess Theodora selected an ensemble by Max Mara. Which of these looks do you find the most striking? The wedding of Prince Nikolaos and Chrysi Vardinogianni was not just a family celebration, but also a significant event for the Greek royal family. Despite the loss of the throne, the dynasty continues to honor its traditions, and occasions like these serve as a reminder of Greece's royal past. Now, let's move to Denmark, where, at the beginning of February, the birthday of Queen Mary was celebrated. To mark the occasion, the royal court released a new official portrait taken by Danish photographer Stina Evald at Amalienborg Palace. This portrait stands out significantly from her previous official photographs. In it, the queen appears relaxed, sitting on the armrest of a sofa, as if inviting the viewer to see her not only as a monarch, but also as a woman in a new stage of her life. While Mary's previous portraits were more formal, this time she chose a look of understated elegance, forgoing royal jewels. Instead, she opted for jewelry with personal significance. On her wrist, she wore gold Cartier bracelets, and in her ears, delicate gold and diamond earrings that perfectly complemented her overall look. Naturally, one cannot overlook her engagement ring with a ruby and diamonds, a symbol of her love story with then Crown Prince Frederick. This piece is not only deeply romantic, but also beautifully echoes the colors of the Danish flag. This portrait is not just a tribute to Mary's birthday, but also a symbol of a new chapter for the entire Danish royal family. Her eldest son, Crown Prince Christian, has recently begun his military training at Antvorskov Barracks, a significant milestone as he prepares for future responsibilities. For Mary, this is a time of transition. Her children are growing up, and for the first time, she celebrates her birthday as Queen of Denmark. What do you think of this portrait? Do you like the idea of stepping away from traditional royal regalia in favor of a more personal and intimate image? Like many, I was eagerly anticipating the Princess of Wales's appearance at the BAFTA Awards, especially after it was announced that she and Prince William planned to attend. However, their plans changed, and this year, Catherine did not appear at the ceremony. Nevertheless, it is heartening to see her gradually returning to royal duties, and she made several notable public appearances in February. Her first official engagement of the month took place on February 4th, when she visited the National Portrait Gallery in London to launch a new initiative by the Royal Foundation Centre for Early Childhood. This project, developed in collaboration with the gallery, aims to support the development of children's social and emotional skills. As patron of the National Portrait Gallery since 2011, Catherine met with its new director, as well as leaders from other UK museums and child development experts. Her outfit was stylish yet understated: a chocolate brown blazer, a knitted top, and wide-leg trousers. However, the highlight of her look was the Bruna hoop earrings from Cézanne, gold-plated hoops with glass stones, which have been part of her collection since 2021. Her next appearance took place on February 11th, and it was far less expected. The princess visited HMP Style, a women's prison in Cheshire, which has a mother and baby unit for incarcerated mothers with newborns. In her role as patron of Action for Children, Catherine met with specialists working to help these women form bonds with their babies, as well as with inmates who had given birth in prison. The project is designed not only to support children, but also to reduce recidivism by fostering strong family relationships. For this serious engagement, she opted for a brown checked coat, which we had previously seen on her at the Royal Marsden Hospital, along with vintage pearl earrings from Catherine James Jewelry. These earrings have a unique design, 5 cream-colored pearls arranged in a circular formation resembling coral structures. Finally, on February 26th, Catherine and William traveled to Wales, where they visited Pontypridd Market and met with local residents. Despite the rainy weather, crowds warmly welcomed the royal couple. Catherine wore a striking bright red coat, and for jewelry, she selected gold garnet earrings from Spells of Love, a small yet meaningful touch, as garnet is her birthstone, symbolizing her January birthday. These earrings have been part of her collection for several years and can be worn with or without the garnet charms. Later that day, the couple visited Meadow Street Community Garden, where they spoke with volunteers working to create a safe and inclusive space that brings the community together through nature. Now we shift to the United Kingdom, where on February 7th, King Charles III and Queen Camilla hosted a special dinner at their countryside estate, Highgrove. The evening was dedicated to the slow food movement, an initiative that originated in Italy in the 1980s, aimed at promoting quality produce, sustainable farming, and the enjoyment of meals without haste. In his speech to the guests, the king emphasized the importance of food not only as sustenance, but also as a unifying force across generations, families, and nations. Among the invited stars were Victoria and David Beckham, Italian-American actor Stanley Tucci, and Dame Helen Mirren, alongside other figures from the worlds of art, fashion, and gastronomy. But, naturally, attention was drawn to Queen Camilla, who chose her favorite navy velvet outfit with a geometric design for the evening. To complement the blue fabric of her dress, she selected earrings from her personal collection, diamond clips with sapphires and diamond cluster drops. But what was particularly intriguing was her addition of jewelry with a rich history. On Camilla's wrist were 2 Cartier bracelets that once belonged to the Queen Mother. These pieces are part of a magnificent 5-piece Art Deco set. The bracelets were individually gifted by the then Duke of York to the Duchess for birthdays and Christmases between 1923 and 1925. The full set included 2 bracelets entirely encrusted with diamonds and 3 others featuring rubies, emeralds, and sapphires. The Queen Mother loved wearing them all together, creating an elegant yet slightly eclectic composition. Moreover, these bracelets could be mounted on a special frame and worn as a tiara, a style Elizabeth showcased multiple times in the 1930s. I feel a bit sad that no one after her has used the bracelets as a bandeau. Would you like to see them framed as a tiara on one of today's royals? Or do you think that style is too outdated? After the Queen Mother's passing, the jewelry passed to Queen Elizabeth II, but she wore them differently, singly or in pairs, often paired with other diamond accessories. One of the last times she appeared with them in public was at a diplomatic reception at Buckingham Palace in 2019. Now, under King Charles III's stewardship, Camilla has gradually been incorporating them into her rotation. She first wore the emerald bracelet from the set a year ago. Then, in December 2024, she chose the ruby version for a state banquet honoring the Emir of Qatar. And now at Highgrove, she showcased the sapphire and diamond bracelets. Another striking piece Queen Camilla selected for the Highgrove dinner was her diamond snake necklace from Van Cleef Arpels. She has worn this piece for years, and according to Buckingham Palace, it is a family heirloom inherited from her grandmother. Snake-themed jewelry has long held a special place in the jewelry world, symbolizing transformation, wisdom, and immortality. They became popular among European nobility as far back as the Victorian era. Queen Victoria, for instance, received a snake-shaped engagement ring from Prince Albert, symbolizing eternal love. Camilla clearly values this meaning, as the necklace with its flexible diamond links has become one of her favorite accessories for official events. She has worn it at banquets for state visits, formal receptions, and even private dinners. What do you think of this choice? Do you like the snake symbolism in jewelry? In February, Queen Camilla had several more notable appearances where she wore historical brooches. For example, on February 15th, she attended the famous Betfair Ascot Chase race day, selecting a brooch with a special royal heritage for the occasion. On this winter day, Camilla was dressed in a light-colored coat and her beloved fur hat, complementing the look with classic jewelry. Diamond and pearl earrings, a Van Cleef and Arpels Alhambra bracelet with blue agate, and, of course, the historical Minoru brooch, designed in the shape of a horseshoe. This piece is not just a symbol of luck, but also a part of royal racing history, tied to one of King Edward VII's most successful racehorses. Minoru was a stallion owned by the British monarch, and in 1909, he brought him victory at the Epsom Derby, one of the most prestigious races. For the king, a passionate racing enthusiast, this triumph held immense significance. To commemorate the success, he commissioned several keepsakes, including diamond pins and brooches bearing the name Minoru, crafted in royal colors with sapphires and rubies. How the brooch ended up in Camilla's possession remains uncertain. It's possible it's one of the original souvenirs ordered by Edward VII that eventually found its way back to the royal family. There's also a theory that it may have come to Camilla through the Keppel family, as her great-great-grandmother Alice Keppel was one of Edward VII's favorites. Whatever the case, the Minoru brooch regularly appears on Camilla, especially at races and equestrian-related events. On February 11th, Queen Camilla, alongside King Charles III, welcomed military personnel to Buckingham Palace to thank them for their service. It was an important evening underscoring the monarchy's special bond with the armed forces, and Camilla appeared at the reception in an elegant emerald green dress she had worn before, including at last year's Easter service. But it was her brooch that stole the spotlight. If you recall, we discussed it with you last month in the January roundup. Back then, we speculated about its origins. The cross-shaped brooch is adorned with diamonds and a yellow stone, presumably topaz or yellow diamonds. Buckingham Palace has dubbed it the Raspberry Pip brooch and confirmed it's from Queen Elizabeth II's collection. Last month, we explored a possible connection to the Strathmore family. One theory suggests it could be the very same yellow diamond cross that belonged to the Queen Mother's mother, the Countess of Strathmore, mentioned in her 1938 will. Archival photos from 1927 show the Countess wearing a brooch of a strikingly similar design. Interestingly, this is the second time Camilla has chosen this brooch in the past 2 months. What are your thoughts on it? Do you perhaps know anything about its origins? Another striking appearance by Camilla took place on February 13th, just before Valentine's Day. The Queen and King Charles III visited Middlesbrough as part of a royal working visit. Camilla debuted the Fabergé Imperial Imperatrice tassel earrings, which are incredibly striking and refined. These sapphire and diamond earrings, crafted in 18-karat white gold, retail for $21,000 USD and fully befit her royal status. A central sapphire is surrounded by diamonds, with cascading strands of sapphire beads extending downward, creating a sense of lightness and movement. Do you think this could have been a Valentine's gift from Charles? Camilla paired the earrings with 2 brooches from her collection, a sapphire butterfly brooch she's worn since 2006, and a diamond seahorse brooch that first appeared on her last year. Both pieces echoed the sapphire tones of the earrings and her navy wool coat. Curiously, the style of the new earrings recalls another famous Fabergé creation, the diamond Jubilee brooch of the House of Hesse, made in 1897 for Queen Victoria. It would be symbolic if she one day combined these 2 pieces in a single ensemble. What do you think? Just a few days after her Middlesbrough appearance, Camilla wore her new Fabergé Imperial Imperatrice tassel earrings again, this time at a Buckingham Palace reception on February 18th. The event was dedicated to the National Theatre and its work on stage, screen, and in schools, with the Queen greeting leading figures from the theatrical world. Her navy outfit was elegant yet understated. Clearly, Camilla didn't want to distract from the lavish theatrical costumes on display at the reception. Still, she added some intriguing jewelry accents to her look. Alongside the now familiar Fabergé sapphire earrings, the Queen wore a brooch that immediately piqued the curiosity of royal jewelry enthusiasts. This heart-shaped brooch, made of black enamel, diamonds, and pearls, is likely an antique piece dating to the late 19th or early 20th century. Its refined yet restrained design is reminiscent of mourning brooches from that era, often worn in memory of loved ones. While the brooch's origins remain a mystery, the fact that Camilla chose it for a theater-related event makes her choice all the more intriguing. Perhaps we'll see it again in the future, and more details about its past will come to light. Camilla's jewelry relay continued on February 20th, when she once again opted for historical pieces for a Buckingham Palace reception. This time, the event honored remarkable individuals and organizations, making significant contributions to humanitarian efforts worldwide. Alongside King Charles III, Camilla welcomed guests, expressing gratitude for their work in aiding those in need. For this formal evening, the Queen chose a blue dress, diamond and pearl earrings, and 2 ivy leaf clip brooches that once belonged to Queen Elizabeth II. These pieces, created by Cartier in the 1920s, 1930s, originally belonged to Dame Margaret Greville, who bequeathed them to the Queen Mother upon her death in 1942. In 1947, the Queen Mother gifted them to her elder daughter, then Princess Elizabeth, for her 21st birthday. The brooches accompanied Elizabeth throughout her long life and have now begun a new chapter in royal history with Camilla. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Camilla has worn these clips in public. She first donned them in February 2024 at a memorial service for King Constantine II in Windsor, then again last December at the Sandringham Christmas service, pinning them to the collar of her green coat. Now, she's worn them on a dress for the first time, placing them symmetrically on either side of the neckline while maintaining her usual balanced style. Finally, another brooch showcase occurred at the end of February when King Charles III and Queen Camilla visited the Darjiling Express restaurant in London's Soho. This isn't just any Indian restaurant. It was founded by British Indian restaurateur Azma Khan, and all its staff are women. Ahead of Ramadan, the establishment donates all its proceeds to charity, making it a particularly meaningful stop for this visit. For the occasion, Camilla chose an emerald green Max Mara cashmere coat, which she accessorized with a diamond and enamel brooch from the late 19th century. This piece, with an interesting backstory, joined her collection relatively recently. The Queen first wore it in January 2024 at the opening of a cancer center. The brooch is designed as a square of old-cut diamonds interwoven with 2 delicate ribbons of vivid green enamel. Dating to around 1890, it was acquired by the jewelry firm Swarovski, which has long-standing ties to the British royal family. The brooch's symbolism makes it especially poignant. 2 inseparably entwined ribbons represent the union of 2 lives bound by love. Which of Camilla's February jewelry pieces did you like the most out of this diverse lineup? Share your thoughts in the comments. At the Buckingham Palace reception dedicated to humanitarian initiatives, alongside Queen Camilla, other members of the royal family were present, including Princess Anne and the Duchess of Gloucester. Brigitte, ever elegant, chose a gray-blue suit of classic cut for the evening, pairing it with a single-strand pearl necklace and a handbag featuring a Union Jack pattern. But an even more captivating piece was the pendant she added to the necklace. This antique item, shaped like a diamond and enamel rhombus, is topped with tiny pearls and adorned with Queen Victoria's Imperial monogram. Brigitte has worn this pendant for years, and its origins remain a subject of intriguing speculation. It could have entered her collection through various paths, perhaps as an inheritance from her mother-in-law, Princess Alice, via Queen Mary, who was renowned for her love of collecting historical relics. Another theory suggests it might have been passed down from Princess Marie-Louise, known for her collection of royal keepsakes, as she was the godmother of the Duke of Gloucester. The Princess Royal arrived at the reception in an elegant white suit, complemented by her beloved seahorse-shaped brooch. Anne received this special gift in 1973 when she married her first husband, Captain Mark Phillips. The brooch was presented to her by the London Fishmongers Guild, one of the city's 4 oldest medieval guilds. Crafted from 18-karat gold, the brooch is adorned with a cabochon ruby used for the seahorse's eye and fin, while its body is encrusted with a row of round-cut diamonds. Next, we travel to Sweden, where the royal family gathered at Stockholm's royal palace for a Te Deum, a traditional Thanksgiving service honoring the birth of a new princess. On February 10th, King Carl XVI, Gustaf, and Queen Sylvia joined Prince Carl Philip and his family to celebrate the arrival of Princess Ines, the long-awaited daughter of Prince Carl Philip and Princess Sofia. Princess Ines Maria Lilian Sylvia became the first girl in Carl Philip and Sophia's family after 3 sons, Alexander, Gabriel, and Julian. Her title, Duchess of Västerbotten, harks back to the history of the Swedish royal family, as the previous bearers of this title were the king's parents, Prince Gustaf Adolf and Princess Sibylla. For the Thanksgiving service, Queen Sylvia chose an elegant ivory-colored suit with an embroidered blouse and pearl buttons. She complemented the look with a pearl necklace featuring multicolored iridescence, modern pearl earrings, a bracelet, and a cluster ring. Crown Princess Victoria opted for a dress with floral lace, and the standout feature of her ensemble was a pair of gold and diamond feather earrings by Kreuger. Additionally, a miniature diamond rosette brooch, a gift from Prince Bertil and Princess Lilian, was pinned to her dress. Princess Madeline also favored muted tones, selecting a gray-blue coat. However, the highlight of her outfit was a delicate vintage piece pinned to the lapel. This brooch, featuring an aquamarine, diamonds, and a pearl drop, certainly deserves its own discussion. Its design recalls antique Swedish jewels, and it may belong to the princess's personal collection. By the way, we've entered the month of aquamarine, making it a perfect time to revisit royal jewelry featuring this stunning gemstone. Would you like to see a video about royal aquamarines? Perhaps you have specific requests. Any particular pieces or stories you'd love to learn more about? Share your ideas. Back to Stockholm. Princess Christina, the king's younger sister, went for a bold contrast, pairing black with vibrant pink in her outfit. She accessorized with gold and pearl jewelry. Now we move to Spain, where Queen Letizia once again showcased the precious heritage of the Spanish crown, selecting a historical brooch from Queen Ina's collection. On February 19th, King Felipe VI and Queen Letizia hosted Egyptian President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi for a formal lunch at the Royal Palace of Madrid. For the occasion, Letizia chose a navy tweed suit, paired with minimalist yet striking jewelry. Diamond earrings sparkled in her ears, while a unique brooch with a gray pearl, once belonging to Queen Victoria Eugenie, was pinned to her jacket's lapel. This brooch is part of the renowned Joyas de Passar collection, jewels that Victoria Eugenie willed to be passed down exclusively to Spanish queens. In her will, it's described as a brooch with a large pale gray pearl surrounded by diamonds, with a pear-shaped pearl pendant. Originally, the brooch featured a single row of diamonds, but during Queen Ina's lifetime, it was modified with an additional row, enhancing its brilliance. Letizia opted for the shortened version of the brooch, removing the pear-shaped pearl pendant. In this form, it looks modern and elegant while retaining its historical significance. The brooch was previously worn by Queen Sofia, both in its full form and without the pendant. Letizia first debuted it in 2019 during the Pascua Militar celebration, but its most memorable moment came in 2022 when it unexpectedly fell off her coat during a parade. Fortunately, Felipe quickly noticed the brooch slip from Letizia's clothing and swiftly returned the precious item to his wife. Now we shift to London, where Princess Anne once again showcased her dedication to classic style and her love for sapphire jewelry. On February 20th, the Princess Royal attended the WISE Awards 2025 ceremony at the Institution of Engineering and Technology, honoring outstanding women and men who promote gender equality in STEM fields. This event took place right after the humanitarian reception at Buckingham Palace, which we discussed earlier. For the awards ceremony, she chose one of the most significant pieces in her collection, a pearl choker with a sapphire clasp, once owned by Empress Maria Fyodorovna. This piece boasts an impressive history dating back to the late 19th century. The necklace consists of 4 rows of pearls separated by 20 diamond spacers, with its centerpiece being an angular sapphire and diamond clasp that can also be worn as 2 separate bracelets. This choker once belonged to Maria Fyodorovna, wife of Alexander III and mother of Russia's last emperor, Nicholas II. It was one of the few items she managed to take with her when fleeing Russia after the revolution. Following her death in 1928, her daughters sold it to Queen Mary for £6,000. Queen Mary wore it in the 1930s, and after her death in 1953, it passed to Queen Elizabeth II. However, as Elizabeth did not favor chokers, the piece was soon given to Princess Anne. Since then, it has become one of her most recognizable jewels, often appearing at significant events. But this wasn't the only sapphire adornment Anne selected for the evening. Pinned to her dress was her version of the famous Prince Albert sapphire brooch, a slightly smaller replica of the one Prince Albert gave to Queen Victoria in 1840. This brooch, featuring a large sapphire surrounded by 12 diamonds, began appearing in Anne's wardrobe in the 1980s. One theory suggests it was a gift from Queen Elizabeth II and the Duke of Edinburgh around her 30th birthday. Since then, Anne has worn it for both daytime and evening engagements, often pairing it with the aforementioned sapphire choker. What do you think of her choice? Do you love the sapphire jewelry in the Princess Royals collection? Now we travel to Malaysia, where on February 18th, the ceremonial opening of the Selangor State Parliament took place. This important annual event was held at the Dewan Negeri Selangor in Shah Alam and was presided over by Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah Al-Haj of Selangor. He was accompanied at the ceremony by Tengku Permaisuri Norashikin, the Queen Consort of Selangor, and Tengku Amir Shah, the Crown Prince of Selangor. The official proceedings began with a review of the honor guard, followed by a speech from the Sultan addressing the state's development, the need to ensure clean water for the population, efforts to combat corruption, and improvements to the healthcare system. For this momentous occasion, Tengku Permaisuri Norashikin chose one of the most ceremonial pieces in her collection, the Selangor Diamond Fringe Tiara. This tiara, also known as the Bertata Berlian tiara, is a flexible band of vertical diamond rays topped with large collet-set diamonds. The tiara's history dates back to the 1960s, when it was crafted for Tengku Ampuan Rahimah, the third wife of Sultan Salahuddin of Selangor. It was inspired by the classic kokoshnik tiaras of the Russian Imperial court, placing it within a broader tradition of fringe tiaras seen in royal collections across Britain, Sweden, Denmark, and Greece. Over the decades, Tengku Ampuan Rahimah wore this tiara at formal receptions, ceremonial banquets, and royal audiences. After her death in 1993, however, the tiara faded from view for a time. Following Sultan Sharafuddin's marriage to Tengku Permaisuri Norashikin in 2016, the tiara re-emerged into the public eye. Since then, it has been worn repeatedly at state events. The tiara also featured in Tengku Permaisuri Norashikin's ensemble at the coronation banquet of the King of Malaysia in 2019. Today, it most frequently appears in official portraits and at the annual opening of Selangor's Legislative Assembly, cementing its status as one of the chief regalia of the local royal house. Next, we move to Denmark, where, on February 24th, King Frederik and Queen Mary attended a service at Holmen's Church in Copenhagen. Organized by the Danish Parliament, this ceremony marked the anniversary of the start of the war in Ukraine. The royal couple joined members of parliament, ministers, Ukraine's ambassador Andriy Yanevsky, and other invitees to express support for the Ukrainian people. Queen Mary opted for an elegant and understated look: a gray-tailored long coat, a black high-neck dress, suede-heeled shoes, black leather gloves, and gray pearl earrings. However, The focal point was a diamond brooch pinned to the left lapel of her coat. This diamond brooch, shaped with 6 petals and interspersed diamonds surrounding a large central diamond, once belonged to Prince Henrik's mother, Countess Renée Yvonne de Laborde de Montpezat. After her death in 2001, the brooch was inherited by Prince Henrik, who, in 2004, gifted it to his daughter-in-law, Crown Princess Mary, in honor of her wedding to Crown Prince Frederick. Now we journey to Japan, where on February 23rd, celebrations marked Emperor Naruhito's 65th birthday. As every year, this occasion offered a chance to see members of the Imperial family on the palace balcony and admire their exquisite jewelry. As always, Japan's empresses and princesses chose elegant brooches, each worthy of attention. Empress Masako appeared in a luxurious blue dress with intricate embroidery, complemented by pearl jewelry. Her brooch was particularly striking, a floral composition featuring a large central pearl surrounded by diamond petals and curling, leafy elements. The piece was voluminous, refined, and perfectly matched the decorative details of her outfit. Such brooches are characteristic of the Japanese Imperial jewelry collection, often crafted in the classic mid-20th century style. Princess Aiko, the only daughter of Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako, wore a light blue ensemble, accessorized with a strand of pearls, earrings, and an intriguing brooch. This piece, likely silver, is adorned with pearls and features a floral pattern reminiscent of lily of the valley. The most striking element was a blue stone in the brooch's pendant, quite possibly a sapphire. Colored stones in the jewelry of Japanese princesses are rare, making this choice especially noteworthy. Crown Princess Kiko, wife of Crown Prince Fumihito, embraced traditional understated elegance with a dress in a muted beige-pink shade. Her jewelry, classic Japanese pearls, earrings, and a delicate silver brooch shaped like 2 flowers with pearl centers. Princess Kako, the younger daughter of Crown Prince Fumihito, chose a sunny yellow outfit with a subtle white floral pattern, paired with a strand of pearls, pearl earrings, and a charming brooch shaped like a diamond bow with a central pearl. This accessory looked particularly refined and complemented the lightness of her ensemble beautifully. Floral motifs were a key theme in the Imperial family's jewelry choices that day. Flower brooches, pearl earrings, and soft hues created a harmonious and sophisticated look. What do you most appreciate about the Japanese style of wearing jewelry? Their refinement, thoughtfulness, or tradition? February concluded vibrantly with a gala dinner in Denmark, hosted by King Frederick X and Queen Mary, to honor figures in arts and culture at Christiansborg Palace. They were joined by Queen Margrethe II, for whom the evening reaffirmed that despite her abdication, she remains a vital presence in the royal family's life. This dinner is a long-standing tradition dating back to King Christian VIII, but it was under Queen Margrethe and Prince Henrik in 1976 that it gained official status as an annual event uniting representatives of the arts, literature, and sciences. Now the next generation of monarchs carries it forward. For the Arts and Culture Ball, Queen Mary chose the Georgia dress by Jenny Packham, adorned with sequins, lending her look a refined elegance. Her standout piece was a diamond tiara necklace, one of the most intriguing items in her collection. This antique early 20th century piece was acquired by Mary at a Copenhagen auction in 2012. Originally a necklace, it was later reconverted into a tiara, making it one of the most versatile in the Danish royal collection. Since its debut in 2015, this crown has become one of Queen Mary's favorites. Complementing the tiara, Mary wore matching diamond earrings crafted specifically for the piece, adding a polished finish to her ensemble. Queen Margrethe opted for the Baden Palmette tiara, created by German jewelers Koch in 1856. This crown, featuring diamond palmettes, was a wedding gift from King Wilhelm I to his daughter, Princess Louise of Prussia, for her marriage to the Grand Duke of Baden. It later passed to Queen Ingrid, who bequeathed it to her daughter, Margrethe. Alongside the tiara, Margrethe wore Queen Alexandrine's sapphire parure, including a large necklace with 7 sapphire clusters, earrings, and a brooch. These Roman-Russian origin jewels have been handed down in the Danish royal family since the early 20th century. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, give this video a like, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future episodes. Which event, outfit, or piece of jewelry stood out to you the most this month? I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.